Hey, Shawn, welcome back to Monday to Horse Center. No technical difficulties today. We do have Harry Hernandez scheduled to show up. He's going to show up in just a few minutes. They just wrapped up racing down there at Turf Paradise, so he should join us in just a moment. Hopefully, whoever picked Harry Hernandez today, he had a bit of a second-itis, but he did get the win out of the way in your jockey contest. I got a feeling I might be in a little bit of trouble tonight, Shawn, with Oliveras over there at Mountaineer Park. Scratching out on a couple races and not that many mounts left.
Yeah, I have Angel Diaz too, so I think the next race coming up, he's on a 2-1 morning line. Other than that, he's got long shot. So he was supposed to be on a 6-5 horse too, but it looks like Alex Gonzalez is on that horse now. So I might not be looking so good neither. And there's two other people that picked Diaz as well. And I know Oliveras, I think there was another 4 or 5 people that picked them. So
yeah, he should have probably had that first race at Mountaineer Park. They should have DQ'd that horse that cut off like 3 horses out of the gate. But that's you could see clearly that he interfered with the 4 horse out of the gate. The 3 horse had to pull back so it didn't run right up into his rear end and clip heels. And yet the I guess our guy Mark let it stand. I don't know.
Yeah. He doesn't get to make those calls. I don't think. No? I don't think so. But well, I know he does a.
Whoever lets those calls stand, that wasn't the best call in my opinion. Although I'm not the one that makes those calls, but I feel like if you cut off 2 out of your other 5 competitors, you cut off 40% of the field. Yeah, you probably should have a little bit of a penalty for that.
Yeah, it's it's getting like that across, where they're leaving more and more stuff go. But then you see some stuff that you go, oh, I won this, and you turn it off, and then all of a sudden there's a DQ, and you wonder how that happened.
Well, one thing we'll know for sure is that in New Jersey this year at Monmouth Park, they'll be allowed to use the whip, Shawn. Yeah, they recently changed that commission. They rescinded their no whip rule, and now they've implemented the HISA rules. So I think you think that'll open the door to jockeys that said they wouldn't otherwise ride there, now riding there. And do you feel like this is the first positive benefit for these HISA rules, that you're starting to see some uniformity in terms of how the whips will be used?
So I don't think there'll probably be that many more jockeys, only because we read the fine print for the offenses. I think the 3rd offense, you're off the grounds. So, I mean, now you're going to get that. So there are strict penalties if you use the whip the wrong way. So I did see some jockeys not too happy about that. So I don't know how much it opens that way. Once they straighten that all out, and yeah, it's definitely better than what it was last year with the no whip, or you could use it, but only when needed. And up in the air on when that was. So it's a step in the right direction, but there are definitely some clauses in there that have jockeys shaking their heads and not wanting to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, I guess they just want to be the leader in zero tolerance out there in New Jersey, I suppose. In Aqueduct, which is now closed, and they're about to start up Belmont. I think Belmont opening day on Thursday. Terry and I will be covering that on Thursday on our daily show. So we'll be doing Thistledowns tomorrow for our friend Jay Markle. Boy, it was a mess over there in Ohio today, raining like crazy. And then on Wednesday, we'll be doing Keeneland. Thursday, Terry and I will be doing Belmont. I was just 1 horse off of hitting the Philly 5 and the late pick 4 today. And the only reason was because it's a 6 furlong race, and I downgraded the 1 more than I should have. It was my 2nd rated horse, but I moved it down to 4th because I didn't think it had a shot to win. Only 5 winners, 6 furlongs. And of course, comes back to bite you as always, Shawn.
Yeah, of course. What did the Philly pick 5 pay? Do you know?
$750 for 50 cents. And I had the first 4 horses either in my 1st or 2nd pick. But other folks that had some big winning horses were Kendrick Carmouche, who did win quite a few races today at Parks. And then, of course, Chad Brown. Is there a title in New York that Chad Brown doesn't win?
No, definitely not. Kendrick's really been on a roll in this last year or 2.
It's because he came on our show, man.
Yeah, and he even missed some time during that meet. I don't know how much it was, but he did miss a couple days and still ended up winning the title. So good for Kendrick.
All right, so it looks like our friend, our guest, Harry Hernandez, has made it. So he's in his car, getting ready to go, trying to get that camera squared away. So we're going to bring him in right now, Harry. Hi, Harry. How are you today?
How are you, sir? I'm doing good.
Good. You had a good day today. You had a little bit of second-itis, though, in a win, right?
Yeah, like 4 seconds and a win. Good day. They weren't
Yeah,
good.
it's a good day. I mean, just a few lengths away from sweeping almost all of your races except for two.
Right. No, it's good when at least when they try, they make the job a little bit easier.
For sure. So your job has been kind of I don't want to say easy for you this year, but let's go with that word, easy. You're only 4 months, almost 5 months into 2022, and you're about ready to set a record for earnings already. What do you attribute all the great success to so far in 2022?
I mean, I kind of wasn't expecting going this good. I feel it feels good. Really, like it's a lot of hard work. Got to be there out early in the morning. But I got to give credit to my agent too. He's doing a really good job. He's always in his computer trying to find out which are the best horses. He has good communication with the trainers and owners, so that helps me a lot too.
Now, is this the agent that your friend Jose Ortiz hooked you up with?
No, sir. This is Scott Stevens. Paula Bacon
Mm-hmm.
actually helped me a lot, like with him,
Mm-hmm.
because he was riding here, like he was top rider here last year, I think, and he had a bad fall, kind of broke his neck. So doctor, the doctors told him it wasn't going to be safe if he come back riding. So he decided to go as an agent. So he gave a call to Paula Bacon, and Paula recommended me. So he gave me a call, and here we are.
Yeah, having a fantastic 2022. It's a really good decision. Apollo has been a guest here as well. So you've ridden all over the East Coast. You've ridden down in Southern Florida. You read up in Tampa Bay. You've been at Presque Isle. I mean, you've been everywhere. So all the tracks that you've been to, notwithstanding how well you're doing at Turf Paradise, I understand that winning has an influence. But of all the tracks that you've ridden at, which one's been your favorite and why?
Wow, that's a hard one. I really like Monmouth. I like Monmouth. I like the like. It's just that the track in Monmouth, it was so good. It was good. I like the way they work over there.
Mm-hmm.
I like both tracks, so I kind of like Monmouth, but I like Terra Paradise too. I like it. The weather
Do that.
to be in a winter, the weather's
Uh-huh.
perfect.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
So it's
Uh-huh.
it's good to come out. I mean, at least in December and January, it's a little bit cold, but then at 11 a.m. it's already hot. So I like Turf Paradise too.
No, you went to school in that in the school in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
like so many other really prominent jockeys right now. And we've asked them, everybody that we've talked to who's gone to that school, we asked them the same question. So we're going to ask you, what is it about that school? I mean, for you at least, that puts so many jockeys in a position to be successful right away?
Well, Sean, the school in Puerto Rico, the thing, it's really like if somebody comes talk to me, I would recommend them the school in Puerto Rico because they have English class. They teach you all the equipment of the bridle. Uh, they show you what's like all the parts of the horses. They have gym, and besides that, you're galloping almost every day, and they do 18 races for the riders. So you have 18 races to practice before you graduate. So when you come out to start riding as an official jockey, you already know what is to get there, what is to break out of the gate, what is to actually be on a race.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps a lot.
What is it about the personality that comes out of there? And you guys are always smiling and stuff. Can Rich and I just go to that class to get the personality and the smiles that you guys all got?
Well, you know why? Because if you do something bad or something wrong, or you give attitude, you don't ride the next day. You can't gallop. You can't get on a horse. Not even nothing. So us being in the jockey school, we want to get on a horse. Like all we want is to gallop and keep learning, and so we try to do our best to not be bad. So that's another good thing about the school. They show you how to respect. They show you how to talk to trainers. They show you how to grow up a little. How to handle the business good.
Plus, they're all teaching you how to win. That'll make a lot of people smile too.
Yeah.
Your dad's a jockey too. Speak about that experience getting to ride with him.
Wow. Okay, the first time I rode with my dad, I was riding. I had my bug in Gulfstream Park. So they gave me a call and they say, "Hey, we're thinking about doing a race here with you and your dad in Puerto Rico." And I was like, "Oh, that's perfect. Heck, I'll go. Heck yeah." So that was the first time I rode with my dad. After that, my dad flew to Gulfstream and he started working with Efren Loza. So when he was there galloping, he actually rode there too with me. But our good times were really in Finger Lakes. We rode a lot of times in Finger Lakes.
When you were growing up, did you always want to be like Dad and be a jockey?
Just for the record, your dad is Andy Hernandez, right?
Andy Hernandez, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Andy. You want to hear something funny? My dad got days because of me. I will never forget that in my life. We were in Finger Lakes and he kind of like, did a little come down on me. I had to check a little and my horse came back running. He got 7 days. I had to go against my own dad. So I will never forget that experience with my dad.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that did you file the objection against him or
I called
did the stewards
him.
do it? Yeah, you did it.
I had to. I mean, when you're in the track, I take care of my, of my other jockeys, but I want to win. I want to win. I don't care what. I want to win.
When you were growing up, did you always want to be like that and be a jockey?
Always. I used to wake up with my dad almost every day. When I didn't have school, I go with my dad. I was there in the afternoons. I was always with my dad.
Besides your dad, did you have any other jockey role models?
Well, I have my cousin, Hector Diaz. He's in a wheelchair right now. Sad, but I used to look up to him a lot too. I was always with him, and I was his ballet when I was in the jockey school, and he was such a great rider, really good rider, and like I used to see him a lot when he was riding. So I got a couple of, I have a couple of people too that they're riders right now.
What's your perfect race to ride? You like to be on the lead, in the back, distance, turf, dirt?
Honestly, I kind of like to be in the middle of the pack. I like to see what's going on. Who has horse? Who's actually going after? I like to see who has horse, who's trying to get a position, who doesn't have horse, so I can make my own move at a certain time. But I really like the lead too. The problem about the lead is that sometimes there's other horses with speed and they can mess up your race a little bit. But I'd rather come off the pace.
So when you're not at the track, what is Harry Hernandez doing for fun?
Well, I like to barbecue. Be with my friends, barbecuing. If not, I like to play PlayStation, Warzone.
Well,
So I don't do much really. I like to eat. I go to different restaurants to get a little taste out of everything. So I like my free time sometimes. I like fishing though. I like to fish.
You like to fish?
I don't know that much. I want to keep learning, but it's a relaxing thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I used to fish a lot as a kid. So when you were in Puerto Rico, did you ever go deep sea fishing?
No.
No.
Never.
Well, it's not something you can do in Arizona, that's for sure. So where do you go fishing? Like Lake Havasu? Where do you go fishing in Arizona?
Well, I went fishing one time here in Turf Paradise on
Oh,
the
yeah?
lake right here. Yeah, I crossed I went through the dirt and then I passed the turf. Got my own seat, my little speaker, and I just went fishing there. I did no good. I did terrible.
Well, what kind of fish are even in there? Like sunny bluegills, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I can't
But
imagine. Or maybe a catfish or something.
catfish. Yeah, they got some catfish there.
Yeah, they're no fun to
But I
eat.
used to fish a lot in Tampa. I fish like 7 or 8 times over there. It was good.
And did you go out on the ocean there in the Gulf of Mexico?
We go to the ocean.
What did you catch? What was the biggest fish you caught? And what was that like?
I am terrible. I'm telling you, I used to get catfish.
In the ocean?
And, like I was getting so mad because all I got was catfish, and then I see my other friends like Ricardo Feliciano and then Antonio Gallardo getting this big fish. I'm like, dude, like what do I have to do to get a fish like that? And every time I get one big, it breaks. They would have break it. So I'm like, you know what? This is not my thing. I'm just gonna watch and learn.
Robert Bryan says because you have the music on, you got to turn the music off and you catch the bigger fish. You're scaring them off. They don't get big by being dumb, right? They got to be around for a while. For sure. So speaking of the big ones that got away, in horse racing, is there if you look back, is there like a big race that you feel like that's gotten away from you that you replay and you think to yourself, man, I might have done this a little bit differently?
You mean like if I lost a race and I thought,
not even one specific race, but like a bigger race, like a race you thought, man, where you could have had a big imprint win, and you thought to yourself, man, if I had just done something a little bit different.
like right here, it happened to me in Turf Paradise. I rode a horse named Majestic Eagle. He won the first time he came, and then he came back, and first when he won, it was a faster pace. Mm-hmm. So he kind of helped me. He dragged me there, and when I made the move, he kind of like took off. Last time it was a easier pace. I was in the inside. I had the favorite on my outside. I think if I wouldn't make the move early, since I know my horse, he has that big finish, I could have won the race. I lost third by half a length. I got third. But I rather, like, at least in my opinion, I rather wait and lose than to move early and get caught.
Mm-hmm. You want to have some horse left. I can see that when you're right. You're always catching. You seem to know where the wire is. I see you win quite a few of them by a head or a bob or as you're coming up and passing the horse at the very end.
Right. I mean, I kind of like to build my horses. Like, I kind of like, they let you know when they're ready to go. And when they do that, I'm like, okay, let's just wait 2 or 3 seconds and then boom, let's go. Mm-hmm. And I know they're going to give me that hard kick. But I thought about, I mean, not on big races, but on a lot of races. I always, I think maybe if I would have done this, I would have still lost or maybe I would have won. But sometimes it's good that happens because you can tell the trainer, listen, you explain to him what you did wrong and what you think you can do better the next time you ride in to get the win. And they'll keep you on, most of them, honestly.
So as I mentioned, you've ridden at a lot of different tracks. And we do a daily handicapping show, Terry and I. And when we do Turf Paradise, a lot of people say, oh, I just throw my hands up at that track because it's hard to predict. Now, you've had a lot of success there. So from a handicapping standpoint, what makes Turf Paradise different than any other track that you've ridden at?
Honestly, the opportunity. They're giving me here a lot of opportunities with good horses, horses that they belong on that race, that they fit on that race. Like for example, when I was in Tampa, I wasn't getting I was riding horses coming from 7,500 to allowance.
Hmm.
It's a lot tougher race, and when you don't have horse, it's hard to win a race. You need to have the horse, but the same way you got to read the form. You have to the most important thing, in my opinion. You have to read the form and watch the replays. That's gonna help a lot, a lot.
So when you're at Turf Paradise, is it more of a get up and go track than say other tracks that you've been at too? You mentioned that you like to be patient, but it seems to me the paces they're always kind of on the quick side. So is it like get close to the front patience, or is it just be patient and let the race come to you?
I play it by the distance because when I got here, I started noticing that the first days of the week, the track's kind of fast. Track's quick. Like they can go in 22:44 and they can finish. Like maybe in 2 days after they can go 23 or 46 and they stop. It's your pace, but they stop. So you gotta notice the pace, like the track, the condition of the track a lot. So let's say if I have a speed horse in 60.5, I most of the time watch the replays to see how good he breaks. If I know he breaks sharp, I won't send him. I would just let him break, just show him, smush him a little bit and give him one tap in the shoulder just to get him the race, but then I just let him do his thing. If somebody wants to go, they can go, and I'll just sit and do my own race. But here in this track, 4.5, 5 furlongs, and 5.5, let's go. We gotta go.
Do you have favorite horses you're riding right now? Is there like one or two that you see that's on the form that you're riding that day that you get really excited about?
Today, the one I won today, Hoya Paranoia. I love that horse. Great horse. He has a nice future. That horse. He's a Colorado bred, so he actually surprised me with this win that he did today. He ran his heart out, and I've been telling my agents since I started working him in December. I'm like, no matter what, we gotta ride this horse. And when he ran here first time out, he won by 10. Then they put him on a stake on the turf. I don't think he kind of handled that really good. He lost the race by 4 lengths. He tried, but I don't think turf is his thing. So he's 3 years old, and today he ran with older horses, and he beat him easy. So I love that horse. Honestly, that's kind of my favorite horse here in Turf Paradise.
Besides the Kentucky Derby or anything like that, any bigger plans that you look forward to that you're trying to get to?
I mean, honestly, I don't. That's a dream for every rider. It's a dream to go to the Kentucky Derby, to be in the Breeders' Cup. It's okay if you don't win, but you're there. You're. That's a good experience to live. But right now, one of my dreams is to win a title as a rider, and I'm focused here. I'm focused here now. After here, I'm going to Canterbury, so I'm kind of focused right now on this two racetrack right now. But if I gotta choose one big stake, it has to be the Kentucky Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to be there. I don't care if it's a 99-1 horse. I bet it's a huge experience. Looking at the crowd, like the paddock all full and stuff, like it must be fantastic to be there.
Will you watch the Derby next week like all the fans?
Oh yeah, I'll be sitting down waiting for that.
Having a barbecue with your friends.
Oh
So,
yeah, why not?
do you like any particular horse already, or if you haven't looked at it yet? Or are you going to go with your friend Jose?
I'm gonna go with my guys, Jose and Irad. I
Yeah.
mean, if someone wins, I'll be happy. Obviously, happy for them, but I'm always gonna cheer on my guys.
So speaking of the rides, you got 6 mounts tomorrow, I think, if I can add correctly. Any one of those horses that you're riding tomorrow that players should circle and say this is the one?
Well, honestly, I haven't done my homework.
All
I
right.
always do my homework at night before I go to sleep. But I gotta check what I have. I don't like reading the form from Monday, Tuesday. I like to go like
One day at a time. Sure, I understand.
one day at a time.
You got to
right?
take it one day at a time, right? The good old
Yeah.
sports thing.
You can let me know.
Maybe you can when you go through it, maybe you can text Shawn that you like this particular horse tomorrow, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow on our show.
All right,
when Terry and I get
will.
together. All right, we
I will.
appreciate that. That'd be awesome. We'd appreciate that.
I won't forget about that.
Perfect. Anything else, Shawn, today? Because
No, I think that's it. You want that jockey title, and I think you're well on your way. And it won't be your first one. Either. Well, it will be your first one, I guess, but it won't be your last one. Put it that way.
yeah, well, you're definitely having a record year. Continued success on that. Good luck. And we'll be keeping an eye on you in Canterbury. And Shawn will 100% be keeping an eye on his inbox tonight to see which horse we're going to bet tomorrow.
As soon as I finish doing my homework, I'm going to text you right away.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
We appreciate it. Thank you. As Sarah says, congratulations and keep it up. We will.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it. And thanks for everybody for watching.
Anytime, man. You're welcome back anytime you want to come back. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You as well. You're right, Shawn. Oh, that's because you exited out, Shawn. You put me over.
Yeah.
So I got the big head.
My internet connection's still not right. Hopefully it's all right.
And you wanted to blame it on me earlier in the night.
It's definitely not right, but I guess it's all right to watch. It's just me that, you're all delayed all over the place. You're rolling your eyes at me. It's all funky. And now you're freezing.
I got you, didn't I? I held still.
No,
I
knew what you were doing. You've done that to me one too many times.
But it works. I think a lot of other folks might be thinking, hey, man, this thing is broken down. All right. So speaking of folks that are winning championships, we talked about Kendrick and Chad Brown. And then you have an owner over here, John Ed Anthony, set a record down as an owner down at Oaklawn Park for a single record for purse earnings at Oaklawn Park. What do you think about that?
That's really cool. I didn't even know this, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be a good milestone. I think it said here that the last person who did it was in 2019. So they won 1.7 million. Plainsman finishing third. He's eclipsed that mark with something around like 1 point. Well, no, he's at 1.78. The previous winner had 1.7 million. So that's a good couple of months in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Sign me up wherever I can get that.
Did you watch any of those races that we covered with Sarah Ibalde at Oaklawn this weekend, like Latruska and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the Latruska is always fun to watch, and she actually had to race her whole heart out there. I was actually surprised Clariere was 6-5, but then she almost won anyway. She did have a heck of a race. I would have never endorsed her at 6-5, but she ran a heck of a race. Just was never getting the Latruska.
Mm-hmm. Harry is a great guest. They're all good guests. I'm giving Shawn all the credit. Thanks. We got friends down there in Brazil. How's everything down in Brazil? Elbow bump to you as well. And let's see what else, Shawn, do we got? All right. So Morello, I guess you'll have to drink it. You won't be able to bet it at, I don't think it's spelled differently too. Oh, it's Modelo anyway, not Morello. Anyway, this one's going to miss the Kentucky Derby because of an injury, which means that the next horse up is number 20 is now going to be Happy Jack, Shawn. I kind of like the horse sitting at 21 if it gets in as maybe a long shot play in Pioneer of Medina. Hasn't really run a lot of these races, but I think the horse can be forwardly placed has a little bit, I think, of some stamina, lightly raced. And I got to imagine there's another one that'll scratch before we get to next week.
Well, it's interesting. This Pioneer Medina was basically in because Classic Causeway wasn't going to go, but now Classic Causeway is going. They said he wasn't going. Now, today they announced he is going. So that does put Pioneer of Medina on the bubble again. So, but yeah, I'm sure something will probably happen.
Yes, something will happen to your internet again. So Charge It getting in. Robert Bryan says, what do you think of Charge It? I know that a lot of folks in Shawn's questions during the week kind of like Charge It as kind of like that, the long shot, I guess play for a lot of folks. I honestly haven't looked at them yet, Robert. I'll be getting into it all next week. And when I get into it, we'll talk about all the horses we like, which ones we don't like, and why. We'll be coming out with a wagering guide as well. That'll be pretty extensive. So I'm looking forward to that. Here's Shawn again. What's happening, my man?
I gave up on the computer.
You should.
It's just spinning. So I'm on my phone now.
Okay. Looking fantastic too. with your horse racing today. Is that number 5?
Yes.
Yes, yep. Indeed, for sure. So we're talking about what do you think about Charge It?
A lot of people like Charge. I think Charge It's the wise guy's horse, which I'm going to stay away from the wise guy's horse, the one that you always hear about, because when's the last time you have that wise guy's horse that pulls it off? So I'm going to stay away from him.
Yeah,
and I could be wrong.
I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. To me, like I said, I think if Pioneer of Medina gets in, it's a sneaky. I don't think it has a chance to win, but I do think it has a chance to get in there. Maybe sneak into the exacta or the trifecta at the end of the run, because I think it will be forwardly placed. It has a little bit of good legs. Susan says Cyberknife. What do you think about Cyberknife, Shawn?
Yeah, Cyberknife. They all say, they're training good or whatever, but Cyberknife does really look good training. And we said, what Mike Smith said about.
But is he training right now at Churchill?
Yeah, I could be wrong on that, but.
Yeah, I've seen some of the workouts, but most of them are like a Gulfstream and stuff like that. So
yeah, we'll see how he does at Churchill.
Like Simplifications working out, but not at Churchill. I saw the White Barrios working out, but not at Churchill. So she says, yes, it is working out at Churchill. So if Cyberknife is working well, that is something that Mike Smith said to us when we had him on prior to was the Kentucky Derby last year. And he said that pay super attention to how they train at Churchill, that the surface is a little bit cuppy. And horses that train well there tend to run well there. So keep a good eye out on those workouts between here and there.
Yeah, Cyberknife ain't my top pick, but he's definitely one I'm going to use on some tickets with different exactas or whatever. He's definitely the one that I'm still surprised about. I've been saying I like White Up Area. If they're really going to – that horse is going to go off at 12-1, 15-1. I think that's a really good price for him.
Well, just to kind of run down, I did some homework on this. I don't know if it was last year. I think it was last year. It was the first year where since they've gone to the point system, that the winner had acquired less than 100 points during the lead up to the Derby. So I don't know if that's going to become the new rule or the exception to the rule. More often than not, the winner does have 100 points, qualifying points. And right now, that's just 8 horses. Taba, Crown Pride, Cyberknife fits that profile. Tis the Bomb, Mo Donegal, White Abarrio, Zandon, and Epicenter. And then more often than not, the winners in that race come out of either Santa Anita Derby or come out of the Florida Derby, followed by the Arkansas Derby. So I'll be looking at those horses that have acquired 100 points that have come out of those key races. And again, then once they have the post positions, probably somebody with an outside position that has tactical speed. That'll be how I probably narrow them down. As for the ones that come in and blow up your exactas and trifectas, then, it's, all things go from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it that way, you eliminate Modangle with the Wood, you eliminate Tis the Bomb coming from that Turfway race, and probably Crown Pride because they usually don't come in and win. So you're down to 5 horses that way as potential winners.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably how I'll do it too. And then, but maybe Crown Pride, it is training there. Had a little bit of a mishap, I guess, today running, or maybe the day before, with the gate. Yes, but through the rider. But everybody seems to be okay. So we'll get a look at how those workouts come next week. We'll have a pretty full roster of guests that are related to the Kentucky Derby. It'll be all Derby week, but we still have this week to go. Shawn, who's our guest tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Jockey, he rides at Laurel and Charlestown, Maclovio Enriquez. And then Wednesday, we have Donna Brothers, who's always on the coverage of the Derby and NBC, riding the pony horse, getting the interviews. And you speak of next week, we got
Could she ride the pony horse while we interview her?
Yeah, there we go.
Speaking of next week, go ahead, fire away.
Monday, we got trainer at Barber Road, John Ortiz will come back. Tuesday's still open. I got a couple options there. We'll see if I can get somebody. And then just today, I'm going to call next Tuesday, Christophe Lemire, the jockey of Crown Pride. He'll be coming in town on Monday. I'm going to call him Tuesday, and we'll have him scheduled for Wednesday. So we'll get to talk to him about that. And then Thursday, we have Eddie O from NBC as well.
Eddie Olczyk, yes. Thank you, Lafitte Piquet Jr., for setting that up. We appreciate that. And then on this Thursday, this upcoming Saturday, the big weekend it's the biggest weekend at Golden Gate Fields. So we will have on track announcer Matt Dinnerman as our guest for the Players Edge podcast to talk about those big races at Golden Gate this weekend, but we'll also get his ideas on the Kentucky Derby, because when we first launched this way back in the day on the freeconferencecall.com, there was no video, just audio. Matt was our first guest for the Triple Crown races. So we're looking forward to bringing Matt back. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, Shawn, that takes us wire to wire on this Monday. Terry and I will be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock to talk about Thistle Downs. Again, Wednesday, we'll be doing Keeneland. On Thursday, we'll cover Belmont's opening day. I'm not quite sure what we'll cover. Well, on Thursday night, we're going to cover the stuff with Matt Dinnerman. Friday, we're going to do Newmarket, Tom and I, for the big races that they have this Saturday, I think, over there in England. So it's going to be an action-packed week, leading us right into Kentucky Derby week, which is going to be an action-packed week. You're not going to want to miss any of it. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe on YouTube. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. We want to say thank you to John Caravo and Robert Bryan for giving us a thumbs up on Facebook. Do the same, please, on YouTube. Subscribe at Horse Racing Radar TV. And that pretty much wraps up today. Shawn, any final thoughts before we get up out of here this Monday night?
No, I'm looking forward to closing out this week and next week as well. And I'll tell you, after the Derby, too, I know some of the betting and some people turn away. Don't turn away from here. We're just getting started. We got a bunch more guests coming and big names, everybody. So you want to subscribe and keep seeing who's going to be our guest. And if you're alive in the Jockey Survivor, which it looks like Rich and I may be knocked out tonight, keep playing that. That's been a fun thing. And it's really interesting during the week.
Yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. I still have a couple months left. Maybe you do too. Hopefully Oliveros comes through for me. All right, Shawn, that wraps up this evening. Thank you for joining us today. Have you tried to get Jose Gomez, says Robert Bryan?
I have talked to Jose Gomez's agent, who is also Frankie Pennington's agent. So I'm hoping to get both of them on at some point.
Yeah, that'll be great. That was Terry's pick today, Frankie Pennington, and won the race that I thought he would win. So that worked out well for Terry, but not so well for us. All right, Shawn, until we get back to tomorrow at noon with Terry and myself, hope that everybody has a fantastic night, and that from here to there, everything you do ends up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic evening, and thanks for joining us tonight.